Good morning, friends. And today is the Teachers Day और इस टीचर्स डे के दिन कुछ शुभ किया जाना चाहिए। बिलीव मी फ्रेंड्स, 3 दिन पहले मेरे पास एक कॉल आया था और वो स्टूडेंट ने मुझसे ऐसा कहा कि सर आई वांट टू लर्न एक्सेल बट आई डोंट हैव फीस, व्हाट शुड आई डू? एंड इट रियली गिव मी अ sentimental touch that because of money the student is not in a position to learn Excel and he is interested. Keeping his words in mind, मैंने सोचा आज टीचर्स डे भी है, तो एज ए टीचर, एज ए यू कैन से corporate trainer, I should give something to youths of today. As students are interested, professionals are interested to learn Excel, but maybe because of any reason, I don't say only the financial problem. It may be a family problem, it may be a time problem, it may be a work environment problem. कुछ भी हो सकता है, वो नहीं ज्वाइन कर सकते कोई क्लास को या पूरा नहीं कर सकते हैं. So I thought let me come up with the series on YouTube that will definitely help all the persons who are unable to attend any Excel session anywhere. So to start with, on this Teachers Day, this is a small gift to all of you. So we welcome each other. Myself, Manoj P. Chakravarti. I am having 40 years of experience in IT. After my retirement, I started my own IT consultancy, and that too majorly for corporate trainings on Microsoft Excel with ChatGPT and so on. ये सेशन जो मैंने अरेंज किया है, ये सीरीज ऑफ वीडियोस होगा. आपको मेरी हर वीडियो को वॉच करना है, हर एक का दूसरे के साथ लिंक रहेगा. तो डोंट फील लाइक कि मैंने 4 सेशन खत्म कर दिया और अभी आपने शुरू नहीं किए हैं. स्टार्ट विद वन एंड फॉर एवरी एपिसोड आई विल राइट 1 of 1, 1 of 2, 1 of 3, जो भी आएगी सीरीज उसमें मैं आपको नंबर्स लगा के दूंगा. दैट विल डेफिनेटली हेल्प यू टू कैच एवरीथिंग सीक्वेंशली. आज मैं जो शुरू करने जा रहा हूं वो बिल्कुल बेसिक चीज से शुरू करने जा रहा हूं, दैट इज सेल रेफरेंस. Even after having knowledge of 10, 20 years of experience, having good knowledge of Excel, but that professionals also sometimes they miss out where which reference to be used. So I will teach you right from basic what is cell and what is cell reference. Fine. So now what I'll do, I'll share my screen cell reference. Okay. This is the screen which you get when you receive your first working sheet. Okay. Here, if you see, it's a blank sheet. Now, those who are beginners or those who are working professionals or a student, whosoever may be, you should know what is cell. In general, when the beginner goes for an interview, interviewer may ask you this question, what is cell? And there are professionals who reply like this, एक स्मॉल छोटा यूनिट है उसको ब्लॉक होता है उसको सेल बोलते हैं. ठीक है, दिस इज नॉट द राइट आंसर. द राइट आंसर इज if you say these are the columns A, B, C, D, E, F, these are the columns, and if you say these are your rows 1, 2, 3, 4, where they get intersect, this particular intersection point is called a cell. This is your cell. Now this is your cell. Fine. This part is your cell. Okay. Now, what is cell address? As we all, as a human being, having our own cell addresses, all assets have their cell addresses. What is the cell address by which you are called for? Say, for example, me. me is Manoj Chakravarti. So my name is my identity. On KYC, if we say passport is my identity, Aadhaar card is my identity. Okay, that identifies that he is this person. Similarly, in Excel sheet also, every cell has its own identity, and that is called your cell address. Now, what is cell address? I have told you. How it is formed. When you are here, what is this D column? And this is seventh row. Intersection point is D7. So D7 is the cell address for this particular cell. If I place my cursor here, A1 is my cell address. If I place my cursor here, I4 is my cell address, and so on. So I hope now it is clear what is cell, what is row, what is column, and what is cell address. Now, after this, what I would like to show you is the cell reference. Now, there are three different types of cell referencing: relative reference, absolute reference, and mixed reference. Why this is required to learn cell reference first? Before we start anything in Excel, you should know what is cell reference. That's why I've taken this particular topic as a first video clip of this series. Cell reference gives you the reference of the cell address. There are three different types of cell referencing. One is absolute, second is relative, and third is mix. By default, relative reference is always active. Say, for example, if I write here 2 and here 3, and if write here equals to this 2 multiplied by this cell 3, and I press enter, what formula I am getting? H17 into H18. Okay, H17 into H18 means this is relative in nature. Now, what is relative in nature? That I will show you now. Now, here you see, let me delete this thing. Okay, let me delete this thing. Okay, here you see relative reference where column is variable, row is variable. In the absolute reference, column is fixed, row is fixed. In mixed reference, either of one is fixed and another one is variable. Now let's see by example. Here it is relative reference. And you have one value here in 1991. Now if I write here equals this cell. Okay, what is this G1? Referring to G1 cell address. Sorry. Whenever you get G1 and press enter, what you are getting? 1991. If you copy this cell down the line, what you are getting? Zeros. Why zeros? Because when you are at this point, your cell referencing was G1. When you drag down to next step, this cell is also coming down. Again coming down. Again coming down. Means what? It is relatively coming down with the change in row number. Same way, when you go towards right, what happens? The column number from H, it will become I to J, and J to K. Here you can see G1, 2, 3, 4, and right side G1, H1, I1, J1. Both are changing as per their movement. This is called your relative reference. Fine. This is called your relative reference. Column variable, row variable. We will see examples for each. This is just the basic fundamental how it works, what is changing and how it is changing. The second point is absolute reference. In the absolute reference, the same figure we have written, same table is there, but this time what we are doing, we are pressing here equals to same address, but for L1, right now it is in relative reference. No dollar is attached. When dollar is attached, to a row or a column as a prefix that becomes fixed. Without any dollar prefixed to the row nor to the column, it is relative. Now what I'll do, I'll press F4 key. When I press F4 key, automatically the dollar sign get attached as a prefix to row and column both. When both the things are with dollar, that cell reference becomes fixed. That position is fixed. Now, how to press F4 key and why to press F4 key? If I won't press F4 key, I have to go with the cursor movement, shift key and dollar sign. That is manual procedure. Don't do manually. Make use of your F4 key. If in your keyboard F4 key is not functioning, maybe possible it may work with by pressing function key and then press F4 key. Hold the function key Fn and press F4 key. You will get this dollar sign. When you press enter, what it gives you? 1991. And what cell address you are getting? $L$1. Now, like we have done relative reference, we are dragging down here. This time we are not getting zeros, we are getting the values. Why? Both the places having the dollar sign means row and column both are fixed, means this cell position is fixed. When you copy that thing, everything will come from that cell only. No change in this because both are fixed in nature, not variable. When you go towards the right, still the value is getting. Again, here also if you see L1, L1, L1 with the dollar sign. Both with the dollar sign as a prefix. This is called your absolute reference. Now, when you will use absolute reference, when you want to do any calculation based on one particular cell address, you have to use absolute reference. For this also, example I will show you. In the case of mixed reference, what you are having? Either the row is fixed or the column is fixed. Suppose I say this is your column. This is your column and this is your row. Right now I am making use of say row fixed. If I press row fixed, what will happen? I'll delete this thing and I'll say equals to this. Now what is fixed here? I say row is fixed. Press F4 key. By pressing F4 key, your relative reference will become absolute reference. But we don't need absolute reference here. We want one thing is fixed. What is that? That is your row. F4 again. Now the row is becoming fixed. Q, R, S, T, U, wherever it goes, but the row is going to remain fixed. Make it here fixed. Now row is fixed. Wherever you copy this thing, what you are getting? Row number is fixed. In the entire column, row number is fixed. Everything data is coming from this point. And if I copy this thing towards right, it will become 0. Because after Q1, it becomes R1. This is not fixed, it's a variable. When it comes R1, your cursor comes here. When you become here, T1 will become here. When you are in U, your cursor comes here. So it is moving. Okay. So here, when you fix column, then column is fixed. Otherwise, row is fixed. But only one thing is fixed at a time. Now, it is again depending on when, what to use and how it is to be used. Again, that will be covering in example. This is just to show you how it works. What is changing, that I am showing you. In the third part, fourth part, here, if I say equals to this one. Now, here I want to make it column fixed, row variable. What I'll do? F4 key, absolute reference, F4 key, row fixed, and F4 key, column fixed. No need to press shift key and dollar sign and nothing. F4 key works fine. Now don't start counting. 1 will is this, 2 is this, and 3 is this. No. What you want, what you are looking for, that you should see and stop when your position is reached. And you press enter. You are getting 1991. And now if you drag this side, you will get the values. Why? Because what is fixed? Column is fixed. column is fixed, and you drag it down here, you will get 0. Because here, when you at this position, you are referring data from here, and when you come at this point, this is changing, because in this case, the row is variable, column is fixed. In this case, row is fixed, column is variable. The thing which is fixed, you will get the values. Now, based on this basic functionality of your self-referencing, now let us check how this can be implemented in our day-to-day life, how it can be used. Let me go to the third point, that is your self-reference. Here I will show you how it is used. Now I have two sections. One is the entire with formulation, one is blank. I will show you everything in blank so that you will come to know how and what we are doing and what is the main purpose of doing that thing. Here on the screen, if you see, these are the column headings and these are your row headings. Fine. I don't know who you people are. Whether you may be a doctor, you may be a scientist, you may be a working professional, you may be an engineer, you may be a student. For me, you all are students. I want to make you understand what is the basic fundamentals you should know. Concepts are clear, then it hardly matters whether you are working for a 5 rows data or 5 lakhs rows data. It hardly matters. Fundamentals will remain same. Let me check here. Value. Here I have taken value 1, value 2 and the months. You can write here your department names. Here you write your grades. You can write your category. You can write your salary. What all you want. Headings hardly matters. What it matters is the cell address, where the values are kept. Now if I want to subtract from value 1, value 2, and I want the value as a final value, what I will write? Equals to this cell minus this cell. Okay. We have given two cell referencing. Both are without dollar sign. It is a relative reference. Now what will happen and what is happening? When you are coming to the next column, your column number changes, but both are in the same row. The row number remains same. When you press enter, you are getting this thing. Now, here if you will copy down like this, D12, D13, D14, D12, D13, D14. When the row is changing, the row number is changing. When you are changing the column number is changing. So both are variable in nature. Okay. Now, how I am getting these formulas? How to get these formulas? For that, we have a function called formula text. Formula text, and whenever you are writing any function in Excel, my dear friends, make sure don't type full function. Whenever you get this blue strip immediately after the function typing area, just press tab key. You will get the entire function over there. Now, reference for which cell you want to see the formula. Click here. And you press enter and the formula is ready for you. Okay, that way you can see the formula for any cell, any number of rows, any number of columns. If you don't want to show the formulas here, remove them, no issues. If you want them, put it there, no issues. Okay. Same way, now this formula text function works only in the version from 2013 onwards. If you are having version lesser than 2013, may be possible because some students are there, they don't want to upgrade their computer or they don't have that efficiency to upgrade their computer or change the laptop. What they should do? They want to see the formula. For them, in the formula tab, you click on show formulas. When you click on show formulas, you will get formulas everywhere. Okay, formulas. What formulas you have applied in the cell, you will see that. Again, you go back to this. You can see along with show formula, this is the shortcut key, control and tilde. Okay, click on this. You want to use that thing. You can press control key and the key which is immediately in the second row from the top of your key, below the escape key, you press that and you will get the same thing. Either you go by shortcut way or you can go in the long way. Both are okay. So this is related to your relative reference. Row is changing, column is changing. Next point is, and by default, any Excel you open, it is in relative reference. Now the second part, that is your absolute reference. What is this absolute reference? Here if you can see, I have written two words, static and dynamic. As this is the first section, the first episode of our series, in the first video clip, I would like to make it very clear. Don't make your Excel sheet static in nature. Always make it dynamic. Now, what is the difference between static and dynamic? Static means hard coding. Means whenever any change comes in your formula, in your calculation, you have to make necessary changes into your formula. Means you are not upskilling yourself, you are just doing same thing for the whole time. Say 1 raised to power 2 or 1 raised to power 100, it is always 1. If you want to be 1 in your life, you do static Excel sheet. If you want to change your base 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2 becomes 4. So always make your base strong. Okay. Now, how to make static and how to make dynamic? I'll show you with example. I have shown you the importance of static and dynamic sheets. Same thing applies in your personal life as well. If you are static in nature, your followers will be very less. People will love you, less people will love you. If you are dynamic in nature, people will love you more. Same way, if your Excel sheet is static in nature, people won't like to work on that Excel sheet because they are depending on you. अगर आप डायनेमिक बनाते हो, people will love your Excel sheet because everything is in their hand. They can play with the data. Now it is your choice which one you have to go for. I say everybody should go for dynamic Excel sheet. And how to make dynamic Excel sheet, I will teach you each and everything throughout my series. Now here you see, I have these two values and this is the total. What I would like to say, I would like to calculate the percentage. Now here if you will see in this column, if I'll make it as number, okay, equals this cell divided by this cell. Why I am dividing this cell? Because I want to calculate the percentage of contribution कि मनोज ने कितना परसेंटेज कंट्रीब्यूट किया, शिनॉय ने कितना कंट्रीब्यूट किया. Now this Manoj Shinoy can be department purchase, department IT, anything. It is just a text. Excel is concerned with these values. Okay. This divided by this. And how you are calculating this divided by this into 100, make it 100. And you are writing this thing. Okay. This is what? 33%. Both are relative reference. Okay. And if I put it like this, what happens? It gives me error. Why it gives me error? When I put my formula text here to show you, this is my formula text. What is happening? GA 12, 13, 14. This really I need it. But 14, 15, 16 is the wrong thing. Why? When I click here, what I am getting? This divided by this. When I click here, what happens? This divided by this. It is also going down because relative in nature. So in such scenario, what you have to do? You have to fix up that everything should be divided by 3000. How to make that thing? Let me remove once again. Put it here equals to 1000 divided by this. Now we are working on absolute reference. First part is relative. Yes, we need each and every record, that is relative. But everything need to be divided by the total. GF14, that you have to make it fix. Okay, this becomes your absolute reference. Now this won't change. Even though you copy the formula, this won't change. Enter. Okay. And sorry, into 100 is left out. Let me write into 100 as well. Into 100. So percentage is coming. Okay. Now you will drag down like this. You are getting the 100%. Fine. So this is what? This is your absolute reference. This is your relative reference. And this is dynamic in nature. Now let me show you what is static in nature. Static in nature, what I'll do? Again, I am removing this. I'll do what? Equals to this one divided by, I fix it, and then into 100. What happens? I'm getting 33. I'm getting the same answers, but this is static in nature. Why? If I change anything over here, what will happen? Everything will goes wrong because it is divided by what? It is divided by 3000. It is divided by 3000 because it is hard coded. Never do hard coding in your formula. Always make it cell reference based. So we will not follow this. What we will follow? We will follow this equal to divided by this and make it F4 key and into 100, and you are getting done. Now again you are getting this 100 value. Clear? So now you understand what is static, what is dynamic, what is relative, and what is absolute. Now one more thing into this. This percentage we have calculated based on our traditional method. We have not used facility of Excel. Why? We are calculating by multiplying by 100. Here we have to title we have to write that these values are in percentage. Better, what you do? You convert this entire column to percentage. How? By making click on this percentage, or you can click it from here also. Or you can say Control Shift and percentage. All the three options are available to you. You have converted this column into percentage. Now what we will do? Equals to this cell, okay, divided by this cell, and this is absolute reference. Here we will not write into 100 because that into 100 part is taken care by the data type which we have converted to percentage. Just press enter and you are getting what? 71.43%. Self-explanatory value which is shown here. No need to explain what is this. Now everything is with percentage sign. No need to write into 100. Formula becomes short, output becomes good, more impressive than this one. So this is your what? Absolute reference. This is your relative reference. Fine. Now you understand how to use absolute reference and when, where to use. Relative we have kept because we want to calculate it for all. For all, base is same. We have taken this cell as an absolute reference. So up to this point, we have covered relative and absolute. Now the third point, mixed reference. When we say someone that I'm going to teach you mixed reference, people get shocked. Where we will make use of this table? We don't need table in the official life. I say this is not a table. This is not a table. This is the fundamental concept of your mixed reference, and without this, you won't be in a position to write even your VLOOKUP. You cannot make your trend chart. Anything you want for analysis, this is the most important thing to learn, and people usually avoid. Why? They are good with relative, they are good with their absolute reference. They don't need this thing. I'll show you in my coming episodes how beautifully this function can be used. And one example also I'll show you immediately after explaining you these fundamentals. Here you see mixed reference in definition what we have said. Either the row is fixed or the column is fixed. One is variable, one is fixed. Fine. Now let's see here. This is the column. All the rows are lying in the same column. From this, we can very well make out that column Q is fixed, rows are changing. So dollar should come on Q, not on rows. That is clear? Here if we see, all the columns are in the same row. What is changing? Column is changing, row is fixed. So where the dollar will come? Prefix to row. Only this much is to be understood in this. Now let's go for the cross multiplication table. What is that? I want to multiply all these elements with all these elements. That is my cross multiplication. One is fixed. Here row is fixed, columns are changing. Here column is fixed, rows are changing. Let me write here. Equals to this cell. Now here column is fixed. What you will do? F4, F4, F4. Column is fixed. Don't count the number one time here, two times, this time. No, not like that way. Whenever you press function key with F4, your dollar will start toggling from one point to another. Now you are with dollar $Q. Dollar $Q means column is fixed. Now multiply with what? This one. And here we know the row is fixed, columns are changing. Row is fixed. F4, absolute reference, again F4. Row is fixed, column is open. Because dollar is attached as a prefix to row number. So that row number becomes fixed. Only this much you have to write. Done. Just copy here and just copy it here. Your table is ready. Now you go anywhere. See here. 5 multiplied by 40, 200. Here you go. 3 multiplied by 20, 60, and done. In this calculation, what we did, we have done first calculation and then copied here and then copied it here. And what we are getting? Q column is fixed in all the cells, okay, and row is changing. And in the second parameter, row is fixed in all the cells and the column number is changing. So this is a mixed reference case. Suppose you don't want to copy this thing. You want to have formula automatically. What you can do? Delete this entire range. Okay. Select this entire range. When you are selecting the entire range, your cell address is at first position. Write the formula here equals to, without disturbing the selection, equals to this cell. What is fixed here? Column. Make column fixed. Okay. Row is changing. Multiplied by this cell. Now, what is here fixed? Row is fixed. We have made it row fixed. Don't press enter. Hold the control key and then press enter and you are done. So, there are different ways of using enter key as well. When you are on a single cell and you press enter key, it will go 1, 1, 1, 1 down. Okay, it works on cell address. When you go with the selection, if I write here equals to, I write here 10. Okay, and just press control enter. I am getting values accordingly. Okay, so this is the way how you can make your work easy, fast, and authentic. No chances of making mistake. If you'll go step by step, learn step by step, don't hurry. Full life is there to make use of Excel, but make use of Excel in a real right way. People are using Excel, but in a not right way. They are using Excel in their comfort zone. Wherever what is comfortable to them, they make it. When the error comes, they delete it. They put it value over there. No, dear friends, don't do that mistakes in your life at least. And those who are watching my YouTube channel right from today, every week you will be getting one video at minimum. Maybe possible at the later stage I may make it 2 or 3 also. But initially I have kept one video every week. That too of 30 minutes to 40 minutes. I will cover one topic in every session and I will go up to detail, in depth with examples, so that topic you have learned means finished forever. No need to learn in that topic again. Just you have to refer that thing again and again so that you will also memorize how to use and how to understand the basics of everything. Now, I have shown you relative reference, I have shown you mixed reference, I have shown you absolute reference, theoretical, how the formula works and how it is done in example. Now, I'll show you the final example is this one. This is again example of absolute and mixed, because in relative reference, you are not making use of anything. You are just dragging the formula, nothing more than that. Here, you will come to know how the things are useful when you make use of mixed referencing. Here you see. Here I have written product and 1, 2, 3, 4. It may be for in your working segment, it may be a department, it may be a production quantity, may be a overtime report, anything. I am behaving for this particular cell address is product and 1, 2, 3, 4. Titles can be anything, text code can be anything. What we are interested in, the calculation. For this particular column, I have pricing rate is this one. And if I say on product 1, 20% in tax I have to charge here. I want to calculate tax percentage 20% on 5, what value I will get it. What I will write? Equals to this, okay, multiplied by what? 20%, and I'll say enter. What I'm getting? 1. If I'll drag down like this, what happens? It gives me 0. Even though I have values here, but it is not calculating. Why? If I put it here, a formula text, if I'll put it the formula text over here, what I'm getting? E 10, 11, 12, 13, these are working fine. This I needed. But everything to be calculated as a 20% of this value. What I'm getting? 10. For the first case, it is 10. For the second case, it becomes change. For third case, it again changes. For the fourth case, it changes. Why? It is relative in nature. What we have to make it? We have to make it absolute reference for this. What you can do? Now I'll show you the correct formula. This is the incorrect formula. I'll show you the correct formula in this column. Equals to this value multiplied by this value, and this value is fixed for all the rates, all the products. What you can do? Make it absolute reference. This is the combination of relative with absolute reference. Enter it. What you are getting? 1. Drag it down. You are getting the right values. This is your incorrect formula, and this one is your correct formula. This one is your correct formula. What mistake we did? And generally people do this mistake when they are starting their Excel learning. They drag it like this because they have practiced a relative reference, just copy it. Copy always never works. It works only in relative reference. When you are specifically calculating something, your absolute reference plays a major role. So this is your absolute reference. Instead of this, you should have written like this. This becomes your absolute reference and this is your relative reference. Now, where is the mixed reference? Here we have used relative and absolute. We have not used mixed. Now let me go with the mixed reference case. These rates are fixed, and on this pricing structure, I want to calculate two taxes. One is 20% and one is 18%. And that I have to store it here. What we can do? I write here equals to. This is the cell and this is going to change for every product. So it is relative in nature. Fine. I am multiplying this with what? This one. And this position is fixed. I'll make it what? I'll make it F4. And I press enter. What we did earlier. And we are getting the result. What result we are getting? This rate column is relative in nature. It is changing. And this is multiplied by this one. Fine. For the second case, what I am doing equals to this value multiplied by this value. And here also 18 is fixed for all. I am making it 18 fixed. Enter it. And I'll say I'm copying it here. Fine. Now what happens? I have correct answers for both. But I have written 2 times. Formula is written 2 times. If there are 14 columns, then I have to write 14 times. No need to waste time. No need to waste time. What you should do? You should observe. First, you do like this only. Then you see what is common in nature. This is common in nature. Okay, this is common in nature. What you have to do? You have to fix up this particular thing. How you can fix up this thing? Column O, you can fix it by pressing $sign. Because in both the cells, O is common, you can press $sign before O. So that becomes fixed. And this is relative in nature. The first point is over. Column is to be made fixed for the price. Because we want to copy the same formula for number of columns in sequence. In the second part, if you come, here you see K10, here L10. K10, L10. What is common? 10 is common in both. So 10 can be fixed. 10 can be fixed. What is changing? K to L means when you go towards the right, K will become L. Okay. So what you have to do? Remove absolute of K. Remove this parameter K, dollar sign prefix to K is to be removed. Then automatically when you change from K to right side, it will become L. 10 is fixed for all. That is not changing. That you can keep it fixed. Row or a column number, you can make it variable. Now let me work on that particular function. I'll do that, remove it. What I'll do? Equals to this cell. Fine. And here what we have observed that O column is going to remain fixed. Make it fixed. This is your mixed reference case. Okay. Multiplied by what? This one. Now in this case, we have to multiply it by K. In the next column, we have to multiply it by L. But the row is fixed. Column is changing. What to do? Row is fixed. Column is changing. Only one formula we have written. Enter. Just copy it. And just copy it. Done. Now suppose you don't want to do this entire jugglery. Delete it. You do select the entire range equals to this cell and this column is fixed. Make it fixed. Multiply it by what? This one. Here K and then L. Column is changing. Row is going to remain fixed. Column is changing. Row is going to remain fixed. Don't press enter because now we have selected the range. Don't press enter. Enter, if you press, only one cell will get replaced. We don't want to copy and all those things. We have selected the range. Just press, hold the control key and press enter and you are done. So these are the ways how you can start working. Why I am giving you as good as a spoon feeding by explaining you each and every step, because I don't want to make you parrot, just cram it. No, I don't want to make you parrot. I want to make you a professional. How to build the function, how to write a formula. First, write each and every step, even though it's a lengthy one, write it. And then you make it generalized. When you make it generalized, this type of working will start. This type of working. Even if you build a building, what do you start with? You start with the foundation stone. We are not placing foundation wall or foundation pillar. What we are doing? We are making a foundation stone. And some minister will come or some Mahatma ji or Guru ji will come and place one or two bricks over there. They will do some puja and then the construction starts. Same thing here. If I say this is my, let me open the grids. Let me open the grids. So these are the grids. Okay, these are the grid lines. What you are looking at now. Every block is your brick, and every block is important to your calculation. So if you know what is this, if you know how to use this, then only you will come to know how to make a formula. And once you start working like this step by step, nobody will catch you that you don't know this thing. Every formula, every function depends on cell reference. That's why I have taken cell reference as a first topic of your YouTube series. I hope you all have enjoyed today. And if you have really enjoyed and if you have really learned something out of this, please like this video, share it with your friends, tell them to watch these videos at least for first 2-3 videos, then they will come to know up to what depth we are covering, and every video will cover one topic. And our next topic, the next video you will get is on count function. After cell referencing, you need counting. How to count for anything. Count if, count blank, count a, count IFS, and how only count IFS can replace all the remaining functions. You can play with only one count IFS function, get the same output what you are getting from the 5 functions. Everything will be covered in that video, and that video is again will be 30 to 40 minutes. Have patience, wait for the next video, will come next week. Every 7 days, you will get minimum one, maximum two videos. And later on, we'll see how we can expand further based on the responses what we are giving. You can get connected to me on my LinkedIn account also. You can find Manoj Chakravarti over there. You can get my LinkedIn account. You can subscribe yourself on your YouTube also. Whenever I am doing anything new, I post it first on my LinkedIn, then on Facebook, and finally on YouTube. So these are the three areas where I am available. You can get connected to me on my LinkedIn and get all the information on the time. And if you have registered by clicking on the link what I have shared on YouTube, on my LinkedIn as well as on my Facebook, your mobile number and email is with me. You will get your regular updates on your mail as well as on your WhatsApp as well. So thank you for being with me for half an hour. Hope you all have enjoyed. Have a nice day. Enjoy your file. Thank you very much. We'll meet soon.